Hello, everyone. Tonight, with the Open Hearth, we are playing Shooting the Moon. Shooting the Moon is by Emily Boss, part of her Romance Trilogy. And this weekend is, I guess, May the 4th be with you weekend. So we are playing a lot of Star Wars games. So today we are going to play the prequel story about the relationship between Padme, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I'll be playing Padme, who is one of the Suitors. Padme used to be queen of Naboo and now a senator. You know the deal. So let's go in reverse character keep order. So Sabine.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm going to play Anakin, who uses he, him pronouns, and who's the chosen one to bring the, or maybe he's not, who knows. He's a young Jedi, he's the Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he is not entirely happy with his place in the world, so to speak.
And my name is Jose, and I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is a Jedi Knight. What is the? I'm sorry, I know what a Padawan is. What? So what do you say? A mentor?
Teacher, mentor,
teacher?
yeah.
Mentor? Yeah. I don't know if there was a special term for it.
Master.
The master.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. The master of Anakin. And looks like when I look at his portrait right now, he's looking a little bit concerned about Anakin and wondering what's going on with him.
For sure. So we're going to jump into character generation. And the first thing we do for the Beloved is create aspects or attributes of them. These are things that are desirable in the world that our characters inhabit. Strengths and resources the Beloved has sway over. They might be defining personal traits or physical characteristics or whatever. So we each pick two, so we can go around the table. I think it might be best to give Sabine first and last call for Anakin's attributes, and then we'll just go around the table or snake around the table. If that sounds all right. Yep. And these are maybe a little bit for discussion. Certainly, if Sabine, if you don't like any that we come up with, you can ask us to do things a different way. So yeah, what do you think?
And they're just personality attributes?
Personal or physical characteristics, anything. Okay. If we were talking about Anakin, what would we say about him?
Right. Okay.
I'm torn between two things, but I will start out with brash. Or reckless, something like that. But I think brash is more like it. Do I put it in the synonyms? Or...
Yeah, no, so put it in the central column where the numbers are.
So just where there's one, and do exactly. I keep the one, or do I?
No,
just,
you can. That's just a placeholder.
That. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Brash. Okay. Great. Jose, do you want to add a second?
Passionate. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be very obvious with this one and say strong with the Force, TM.
Straightforward.
And if we're sneaking back around the table, I will go again. I'm going to say charismatic. That makes sense.
I'm still thinking, but Sabine, I think you had one if you want to go next.
Yeah, I had one, but Donna took it from me, so I'm thinking, no,
Oh, okay.
no, it's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
It's fine. It is an obvious one.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I'm glad that I didn't have to come up with it, so I can. I might actually go with naive, because as much as Anakin doesn't want to think it, he is easily influenced. He is easily influenced, I think. If that's okay? Or is that,
So,
or should I only pick very...
no. So, I mean, I guess these are things that we think are desirable in the world,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So
Oh,
it would
yes,
be
okay.
something like trusting, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he's trusting. That's probably the problem he has. He's trusting the wrong people.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think I should go with the problems he has. He is a great pilot. I will say he's a great pilot,
okay.
which is true. So
Yeah, okay. Jose, your second choice.
So they should be positive things. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, so I mean, there's things that are desirable in the world. So, you know, I guess it very much depends on the world. But I guess if you put something in that we don't think is desirable, maybe we are saying in the Star Wars universe the thing is desirable. I don't know.
Right. I'm sorry. Give me a moment. So I want to say something like thoughtful or pensive or someone who like ruminates a lot, but not in a bad way, right? Maybe thoughtful is the right word. Although that has other connotations. Oops, I put it in the wrong place.
I mean, I would go with brooding, but we're
right. Exactly. It could turn into brooding.
I think pensive is probably better than thoughtful.
Pensive.
Yeah. Well, you started with that because that is easily the thing that we see. He thinks a lot about stuff.
Yeah, he worries, right?
Yeah, he's broods. He's
yeah. Brooding is definitely what we would say,
but it's supposed to be positive. Yeah. So
okay, awesome. So now we create synonyms, so words with the same or a very similar meaning, and antonyms, so words with the opposite meaning, for 3 of these attributes we've just created. And so the kind of the forewarning is that whichever 3 we pick are going to be the ones that are assigned to the 2 suitors on either side of Anakin. So maybe I guess the example we're just talking about, pensive, maybe the synonym for that is thoughtful and the antonym is brooding, right? So maybe we create some commentary on which way we think Anakin could go based on these synonyms and antonyms. So each of us picks one of the attributes and makes both an antonym and a synonym for it. So we go suitor 1, suitor 2, beloved is the order it suggests, but if we can
you cut off for me.
Yeah.
You cut off on me for a second.
Oh, sorry.
What did you say?
So each of us is going to create a synonym and an antonym for one of the attributes. We're going to do that for 3 of them. And the order we should go in is suitor 1, suitor 2, beloved. But if we want to jump ahead of the queue, if we have something really burning, that is okay with me.
I do have the thing on the pensive thing, but I don't want to jump the queue here.
I'm looking at passionate for some reason. Am I the first one to? Am I suitor 1?
Yeah, you can go. We'll. I think I'll stay away from pensive sitting. So
The great pilot one, it's hard to work with a synonym and an antonym for that, or even strong with the force, but we don't want to make anyone so passionate. The antonym that I'm thinking about is like cool-headed. Is that something
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
And then the synonym would be what is a good synonym for passionate? Is it cheating to look it up?
Definitely not. This is not an English exam.
I will hold that I'm not a native speaker, and it would be really very unnice of you, or if I couldn't look stuff up that I bank on.
I found one I liked.
Cool.
It's heartfelt.
Oh, that's nice. Wow. Very cool.
Right, I'm done.
So I'm staying away from pensive and passionate. I don't think I want to double up on passionate and brash. I think we probably end up with too similar. So maybe charismatic. Um, What's a good antonym for charismatic? Here's maybe where we're going to have to like break the canon on whichever character ends up with this.
Oh yeah.
But I will go with great leader and lone wolf.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take the pensive. And I think, yeah, thoughtful is a good synonym. But the antonym I want is intuitive.
Mm.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So now we assign these. So I think we can blank the unused ones. Okay, cool. So now we assign these antonyms and synonyms in pairs to the two suitors. And so we go in the same order. So suitor 1, suitor 2, beloved. And so you assign one of these to one of the suitors, and then the other one is automatically, the opposite. So if you assign a synonym, that the antonym is assigned to the other suitor automatically.
And what's the but?
Okay, so the but is we get to modify these
modify
traits a
them.
little bit. So it could be, great leader, boss, isolated or something like that, right?
Sentimental.
Something that.
All right. Did you say that I go first?
You go first, yeah. Suitor 1 goes first in just about everything in this game.
Well, that's cool. I didn't realize that. I'll take heartfelt.
Okay. So that means that Padme is cool-headed. And
She looks kind of cool-headed.
I think I will take thoughtful. and Obi-Wan is going to be intuitive.
Okay.
And I get to assign the last.
And you get to assign the last one.
Oh, I like that. I would like for Padme to be a great leader. That makes
Okay.
Obi-Wan a bit of a lone wolf.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which might explain why we have so many problems.
Yeah.
Because you're always just making fun of me.
I'm going a little bit on a tangent here in my mind. I'm going like, oh, lone wolf. That's why he's scruffy. This is why Han Solo was scruffy because Leia was so neat, right? Okay.
Someone has to be put together and someone has to be scruffy.
Yeah, exactly. That's totally how relationships work, right? Okay, so now we modify our suitor traits by choosing words or phrases as new traits that modify the existing one in some way. So the modifications should strengthen, weaken, or give more detail to what we know about the character based on the original one. So this is what we add in after the but.
Mhm.
So the order that I said is almost everywhere is slightly accepted here. For suitor, so we go into suitor 1 and we do all 3 now, and we do it in suitor 1, suitor 2, beloved order, and then for suitor 2 it's suitor 2, suitor 1, and beloved. So you get first dibs on your own character.
Okay.
And you don't have to do it in order, right? You can choose one and
Yeah, you can do it
modify
in whatever. Yeah, you can pick lone wolf first, and then someone else will pick heartfelt, and whatever makes sense to you.
I'm going to put. Woo! I know how to spell. I'm going to put lone wolf, but loyal to a fault.
Okay, cool. I think I'll put intuitive, but it almost always works.
I think I will modify heartfelt. Can I say heartfelt but sarcastic? Does that work? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, Anakin is only sarcastic when he really cares, you know,
Obi-Wan
because he hides his true feelings.
He has to. He's a Jedi.
Yeah.
So is that okay with you, Jose?
So sarcastic. Trying to relate it to heartfelt. So I'm feeling things deeply, but I am.
But you hide it a little.
So some kind of the hiding of it.
Yeah.
But so somehow like reserved or
yeah, we can change that to heartfelt, but reserved is or restrained.
Or restrained. I like restrained.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay, so let's type it in. Okay, cool. Here we go.
I will go with great leader, but in a losing cause. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And which of us go next?
Sorry, you do, Jose.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, this is coming up, and I don't know. It's not canon. At least I don't think it is. But I'm saying I want to say cool-headed but possessive.
Okay.
Is that okay with you,
Yeah,
Donna?
totally.
Cool. Like that. So I'm gonna say thoughtful, but I'm gonna say thoughtful but a little impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I love these so far. Okay, and there's space on the character keeper for traits. Those are the traits that we will accrue during scenes. And any of the checkboxes beside these are to mark when they're first used. When they're first used in the scene to get you dice, they get you 2 dice, and if they're used a second time or a third time or whatever, they only get you 1. Okay, and then not quite the last thing. The extras are for the beloved, opportunity, obstacle, and dream. And for the extras for the suitors are person, place, and thing. So we start with the beloved. Again, the opportunity is chosen by the suitor 1, the obstacle by suitor 2, and the dream is created by the beloved player. So the questions we're answering here are on the character keeper. So why is the beloved available? What's the opportunity? So Jose, do you have anything for that?
Now, available, we mean romantically available, or just or relationship available? The whole point of the game is
so
we're
the prize that we're going to create kind of last is the connection that the suitors seek with the beloved. So is that romantic? Is that to win him to their cause?
Right.
So the opportunity will kind of feed a little bit into the prize.
So he's available for connection in some way, or
yeah.
We're wooing him somehow. Right?
We are wooing.
In the most general sense.
Yeah.
We are suitors. I get it. Okay. I think he's available. Let me just speak, and then I'll try to put it in something more succinct. Because he is kind of it's not crisis, but a moment of transition or uncertainty in where he wants to move, and so that creates an opportunity for him to be swayed one way or the other. He hasn't made up his mind, so a lot of different ways of saying that, but in a moment of uncertainty and transition, or
Sabine, do you think that could be like Anakin has just passed out of being a Padawan and can kind of do whatever he wants with his career as a Jedi?
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I like that.
Okay.
What do they call it? Do they call it graduating from?
I think he's a Jedi Knight now, freshly knighted or something.
Yeah. Newly knighted.
It should be like commencement, right? He has commenced his life as a Jedi Knight, right?
Newly knighted. And something like newly knighted, deciding how he will move forward.
Yeah. Does that sound okay to you, Sabine?
Totally love it.
Okay, cool. Is there any bit of any aspect you want to add to that in terms of how Anakin feels about that?
Yep, like he's in transition, like he doesn't really really hasn't really decided or doesn't really know what's the next step here, because his life was pretty much like when Qui-Gon Jinn took him from his mother. It was pretty much, you're going to be a Padawan. Yes, Yoda, he's going to be a Padawan. Don't care what you're saying. He's going to be a Padawan, and then he's going to be knighted. And then what's the next point? Yoda doesn't really like him, so so where to go?
Yeah,
if the council, if the council thinks you're the chosen one, but also doesn't like you.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is informing my choice for the obstacle that is facing Anakin. I think it will be exactly that. The Council of Jedi Masters thinks this was a terrible mistake.
The knighting, you mean?
I mean the in Padawanification.
The training. The
training. That's a much easier word. Wait a minute, who speaks English here properly?
I speak Star Wars, so
the Jedi Council thinks his training was a mistake. Da, da, da. Okay, and the final one is the dream. What is the beloved's goal or ambition in this world? And Sabine, you do this.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Anakin wants to be respected. He really wants the respect of the council, but he also wants a family sort of thing, he wants everything. That's kind of his problem. He wants people to like him.
Okay.
That is his dream, for people to like him and respect him, and the council and his master and Padme and maybe the Tusken Raiders don't count. They're all dead anyway.
Okay, awesome.
And the Chancellor.
Oh yeah, we can't forget him. I don't think he's going to play much in this. He's a minor character, right?
Yeah, he's not that important, but he seems to like Anakin.
Yeah,
and respect him. So that's
something, right?
That is something I can throw in people's face. The Chancellor respects me and likes me. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's the Supreme Chancellor. Is he Supreme? Yes, he's Supreme Chancellor.
Or maybe just Chancellor yet. Maybe the supremacy has yet to arrive.
Oh yeah, I think that was Jar Jar Binks that made that happen, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jar Jar.
Thanks, Jar Jar.
Well,
okay.
I don't think he will play a huge part either.
We hope not. Okay. So then we do the extras for the suitors. A person is a friend or ally or a rival or enemy or other acquaintance of the suitor. The place is somewhere the suitor frequents or is associated with, or that the player wants to see featured in the game, and the thing is an object the suitor uses or owns. So the suitor player of the character in question chooses first, then the other suitor's player, and then the beloved goes last. So we start with suitor 1, and you can do these in any order. Jose, you go first for Obi-Wan.
A friend, ally, rival, enemy, or other acquaintance, an object. Oh, here I'm feeling like the lack of my Star Wars knowledge.
Well, maybe say what you want, and we might.
And you guys make some suggestions.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drawn toward a person for some reason, so And I'm thinking, like, did he have any like frenemies, or it could just be a friend. Um,
And maybe there's room for a new Padawan for Obi-Wan now that Anakin has
oh, a
moved
new
on.
Padawan. Oh, right.
You're muted, Sabine.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who is that in canon? Is that Ashoka or?
Ahsoka could be
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Ahsoka is in canon. Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan, but she could
Oh, okay,
also
okay.
be Obi-Wan's Padawan. She is a feisty little Togruta.
Ahsoka, is that the way it goes?
There's a
Or is it
H in there
Ashoka?
somewhere, but I don't know.
There's an H behind the first A, I think. Yeah.
Behind
The first, I'll write it, type it in the chat. That's not easy. So I think you spell it like that, Ahsoka. I
Ahsoka.
think, I don't know. I
Okay.
always miss that A. I know it isn't behind the S or behind the K, but and not behind the last H, but it's either behind the first H or behind the O. Who knows?
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Did I get Padawan right? Is that how it is?
Yeah. Looks right.
Padawan? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that is, we don't need to add too many details here. Like, obviously, we kind of need to describe what that relationship is, but I think new Padawan seems good to me. A place they frequent or are associated with. I don't know. Maybe there's some Republic spaceship or cruiser or something that we might see in action. Does that sound okay to you, Jose?
Yeah. Am I unmuted? Yes.
I have no idea of the classes of the early ships. So Republic.
A Venator class, probably, if you want a big one.
If you want a big one.
I know what those are.
Cool. It's the only one I know. So.
Perfect. Should we should give it a name though, right? What do you name? What name do you want your ship to have, Jose?
Oh, this is my ship? No. Or the ship I'm on.
I mean, you're like a Jedi Master. It's basically your ship.
You're a general. If you're a Jedi, you're a general.
Okay.
Every Jedi is a general. Your Padawan is a commander, so.
I don't know how ships are named in Star Wars. Are they named for qualities or places or?
Yes.
All of the above.
They are not named like Ian M. Banks ships, right?
How are Ian Banks ships named?
There is one that's called I Said I Have a Very Large Stick.
That's not the one.
Okay. Basically, I think they named like those Star Trek ships are named as well,
like the Indomitable or the
right. Okay.
Relentless. But we also have a Silver Angels flying around somewhere. So
let's call it. I don't know why I want to call it this. It's wrong of me, but I'm going to do it anyways. The Rubicon.
Ooh, nice.
We'll cross that little stream
when
we come to
when we get there. Liminal space. It's a liminal space.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the Enterprise shuttles? Sorry.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Shut up. I'll shut up. I stopped learning out. I promise. One day, at one point in this game, I will.
And a thing, Sabine, this is for you. Yeah.
I'm going to with the obvious, right? A lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
We both have lightsabers, so I think it's something that is common to both of you and that ties you kind of together because we're Jedi Knights and only Jedi Knights get to have lightsabers. Unless somebody else steals them, of course. Which is bad.
Very bad.
Very
Especially when they steal like 15 or however many General Grievous
But what
has.
color is mine? Is it the
Oh.
blue kind? Is it the green kind? Is it the one-sided or the two-sided?
That you get to decide. I mean, you can go with the canon one, which I think was blue, but I'm
I
not
think it was
sure.
Yeah, I
blue.
think it's blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. I'll take a blue lightsaber, thank you.
I don't know that there's any significance to it except when Samuel L. Jackson asks for a purple one, he gets a purple one.
He gets purple.
Right.
But the red ones are always bad guys,
Yeah,
right?
the red ones are always bad guys.
Red ones are bad guys, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, write that in. I will also start with a person for Padme, and I think Chancellor. We call him Chancellor Palpatine, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also call him Sheevy or Sheev, which is his first name.
I don't think we deal in first names with the Chancellor.
I
I think that's why he became Chancellor, so that
Yeah.
nobody would feel
So
obliged
no
to
one would use his first name.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, it sounds like a reasonable theory to me.
Yep.
Okay. Jose, you get to define one of my extras then.
Doesn't she represent a planet, Naboo, or
Yep.
would that make sense? A place
yeah.
or associated?
Oh yeah, right. That was where the space cows were in the film. Sorry. Shut up.
We have a little bar called Naboo Taboo on our space station, right, Sabine?
Right? Yes. Oh wow.
But it's right next to the Naboo tattoo parlor.
I didn't know that, but we need.
Well,
we need
I just made that up.
We need to tell Jen Alex about that. That's great.
Oh god. Okay, and Sabine, you get to pick a thing for Padme.
Oh wow, that's harder. A thing for Padme. I mean, she has a blaster, but I don't think that's. What is the thing? Is that supposed to kind of connect with Anakin, right? In some way, shape, or form, or is it not?
Not necessarily.
I have a thing for you. I'm terrible, but I have a thing for you. It's a protocol droid.
Oh, okay. They're not persons?
That's not how they are viewed.
Okay.
That protocol droid is probably very
property.
They are a thing.
Okay. Protocol
no
droid.
Self-determination for them.
Do we have a name for the protocol droid?
Yeah, I think it's a C3P2 or something like that.
Okay. I was suspecting you were going to give me a wardrobe there, but a protocol droid is much more wardrobe.
I mean, a protocol droid can be a very useful thing.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing we're going to do before we take a break is to decide what the prize is. So we're after, a single prize that we now decide on. This is the goal of both suitors. It could be the heart of the beloved, a date, the hand of the beloved in marriage, a rose from their hair, their true affection, or anything else that makes sense and seems fun. So anyone have any clear ideas jumping out at them?
I like the heart of the beloved.
Mm-hmm.
That's very direct.
Yeah, it's nice and simple.
Yeah,
and it's different ways of thinking of it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's take a break.
Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the prologue we see, and I think what we see is that Anakin has had some discussion. It's unclear. He's storming. He stormed out from somewhere. Now he's standing at the parapet looking at ships flying around to and fro. And you can see that he's angry. He's unsure what's going on or what's going to come. And I think that's when he turns and he sees in one direction, he sees Padme working with some other senators, talking to them, and while he watches her, that's I think when we see Obi-Wan coming into the scene as well, talking to some of the other Jedi, and Anakin just feels like he's the only one. He doesn't have anyone to talk to, right? That I think that's the setup. That's the opportunity.
So, like, is that the prologue? We just see this kind of lost Anakin with any friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's cut to Act 1. There can be like any space of time in here, right? So, Jose, you're going first for your suitor. Each suitor in turn takes an active part in courting the beloved. In suitor turns, the active suitor teams up with their beloved to participate in a scene, and in this scene, the other suitor plays the role of the opponent, providing an obstacle or hurdle for them to overcome. So you start with free play, and then I introduce that complication whenever it seems most appropriate. So Jose, you can set the scene here for Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Let's see. I'm just trying to think. So once he's become a knight, he's not like glued to my side anymore, right? Now he can do whatever he wants, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just seeing the that image of Obi-Wan. Maybe he's on his ship, the what do we call it, the Rubicon, and it's in orbit around a planet, and I don't know what planet it is, and we see him kind of like he is in the picture I put on the backdrop here, kind of pensively, kind of feeling Anakin's turmoil, and Anakin is down on that planet, and then we see him turn around and no transporters, we just have shuttles, right? And grab a shuttle and head down into the planet. I think it's some kind of densely forested planet, and help me out here if you want, Sabine, with any details of where I find Anakin when I come across him. And I am uninvited. I'm just showing up.
Are we in the middle of the Clone War right now? Because could be a battle where he's kind of fighting and you are showing up to help out, even though Anakin thinks even though Anakin thinks he's got this.
Uh-oh. I don't want to be too patronizing here, being the former master.
Why not?
Looks like he'd do with some help.
He might need some help, actually. But,
he might need some help. Okay. So yeah, sure. Let's make it a battle. So there's a lot of pew pew and a lot of lightsaber dramatics going on, and I think the Clone Wars were between clones and other peoples, right? And the clones were the
clones
were fighting for the Republic, right?
Right. The clones were our troops.
Our troops, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So Anakin.
The Jedi are leading the clones against the droid army.
Against the droid army. Got it. Thank you. And I think there's a pause in the battle. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And there's the droids are in retreat. And then I think Obi-Wan shows up there. He's not going to show up and like save Anakin from something.
Mm.
He's just going to show up and say, and yeah, come up to Anakin, who no doubt has sensed him already on the planet, and say, "Well met, Anakin."
Obi-Wan, do you bring any reinforcements?
The Rubicon is in orbit, and reinforcements could come down. You in need of assistance?
Couldn't hurt. There are a lot of these droids here.
So Obi-Wan calls up to the ship and said, "Send down the reinforcements, as I discussed, to my position." So, Anakin, you are in charge here.
Yeah.
How can I be of assistance to you?
And there's this weird moment where Anakin realizes that, he has to do this, and he will then start to explain where he thinks things should go and what they things should do.
And I see us like around one of those maps,
Yeah.
a little pedestal map or something where they're pointing at things.
Yeah.
A little bit of a montage of that.
Yeah.
And I think we see Obi-Wan at one point put his hand on Anakin's shoulder, and looking like he's very proud of Anakin.
I desperately want to jump in here with a complication.
Yes.
Come with that complication. I was just setting something up.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
So, I think the complication is that you get a transmission from the Mace Windu, one of the other Jedi Masters. You get this hazy image in the center of the briefing table, and he is looking kind of at Obi-Wan, but also taking in Anakin. And he says, "Things are progressing in the sector on an unexplained vector. I am ordering Obi-Wan to take over command of this battle."
Troublemaker.
So this is leaning into the obstacle a little bit, right?
Yeah. Totally. That I love that.
So the way this works is I have a pool of 5 dice for the obstacle, and you generate a pool of your own together. So the active suitor and the beloved, take turns to generate their dice pool by responding to the complication or the hurdle. And in your responses, you can include one of your attributes or traits as you like it. So you get dice per the following. You get 2 dice for the first use of one of your own traits or attributes.
And how do we generate these traits?
So you have you generate traits or attributes, right? So you have your standard starting attributes right now.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end of every scene, you will probably get new traits.
Okay.
So you get 2 dice for the first use of a trait. You get 1 die for the second use of a trait, and then if you make a suggestion for the other active player that they really like, you get 2 dice. So it doesn't have to be a trait. So you have like a maximum of 6 dice. I guess a minimum of 3, but that would be really unusual.
Mhm.
And so you kind of, by going back and forth in these responses, you create your dice pool, and then we roll off.
Okay.
And the opposition is always 5?
Opposition is always 5, yeah.
Cool.
Now, there's like a second round if you don't succeed in the first round. There's a second round kind of escalation that happens, but we'll get to that if it happens.
Okay.
Okay. There's some rules that I probably should mention in terms of limits for the hurdles and the responses. Like, you can't eliminate one of the other characters. You can't fulfill the beloved's dreams. You can't kind of break the game, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Not that you were probably going to do any of that, but that's
No.
just a rule. Okay, so the
Sorry, what's the master's name again? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
who did I say? Mace Windu.
Type it in the chat. Mace Windu. Star Wars names are so fun.
Okay, Mace Windu. All right.
And he looks like Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
He's the guy with the purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber because he asked for it.
Okay, so I'm not sure there's any rule about who goes first. Yeah, so if anyone's got a good idea on how to overcome this obstacle.
I think Anakin is not happy with this decision and will in fact question it because he's been here for a while now and he knows the terrain and his troops do too, and he doesn't understand this decision by the leadership and anyway what he should do now if Obi-Wan's taking this one. He thinks he can take another one, sure. If you think that's useful that Obi-Wan kind of mops up what I've started, but yeah, what are my orders then?
Which of your attributes do you think this is? Is this brash? Or...
Yeah, that feels brash.
Okay, cool. So check the box next to it so we know it's been used. You can still use it again, but it only generates 1 die in future. Okay. Do you want to role play this out sequentially, or do you want to do a scene when we know what all the traits and such that have been used?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't want to do back and forth, but since we've already started with the mechanics, why don't we finish the mechanics?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do the 3 responses and then play this. Maybe roll the dice and then play the scene out based on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how loyal to the fault works. I think what Obi-Wan is he loyal to Anakin or is he loyal to the Order?
Both.
Both, yeah. I think I'm going to use intuitive. I think Obi-Wan is going to try to insert some kind of new information that he's perceived while being here, and that indicates that Anakin should remain in charge of the assault or whatever we call it, the endeavor. Of course, I'm not always right, but
almost always right.
And there's also a sense that so yeah, and we can play it out as well. I like the idea of outlining it and then playing it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and I'll mark intuitive then.
Yeah. Okay. And a third response. This can come from either one of ye. It could be either a trait or just make a suggestion that the other person really likes.
So it would be a suggestion for the other character, right?
Yeah.
No. Like a meta suggestion, not in character.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be in character, but it's a meta suggestion.
Yeah. So
Could this also be something that happens in the fiction forums where the whole thing seemed like go?
Yeah, it could be like an occurrence, right? Just something fictional that you think will help you out with this. Yeah.
And we shouldn't be doing, well, you gave us our caveats. I was just thinking that in the center in the middle of this conversation, there might be some kind of sabotage kind of attack on the base that we're actually in
like that.
at that moment. And that was the intuitive thing. Yeah.
I was going in the same direction, actually.
Or you were going in the same direction.
Yeah,
okay.
That the enemy takes the opportunity and now attacks in full force because there's another ship and reinforcements, and that's when it's a trap.
Of course it's a trap. I mean, it's Star Wars, right?
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so there is a dice room. Let me put the link in the chat. So we got our color-coded dice pools, most importantly. Okay.
Opposition is red, we're purple?
So I'm blue. That's just matching the character keeper colors.
Okay.
So I've got 5 dice. Jose, you have the 6 red dice that are near the bottom. So we roll off and we're looking for 6s. We're looking for more 6s. And if we don't have any 6s, if neither is on any 6s, it's the next highest number, and whoever has more of those.
I see. We're each a different color. Okay.
Yeah.
And the ones we're using are on the bottom row or on the top row?
The bottom, yeah.
Okay.
So you're rerolling those 6 red d6 in a cluster, landing the 5 blue ones.
And remind me how we got these. We got these 2 for each of the traits.
Yeah,
and 2 for the
two for the suggestion that you both liked and were enthusiastic about.
Okay.
We're totally abusing. Well, not abusing. We're totally using the mechanics as designed, right?
Okay. And so I go ahead and roll, or
you roll.
Oh my God, you got a lot of 6s, and I
did
didn't
get a lot of 6s.
This didn't go well.
This one, wow.
Oh, really bad.
Okay, so let me check. So we've done the dice rolling for the first pool. If the opponent wins, no one receives any points towards their goal at this time. The active suitor and beloved gain traits declared by the opponent. And then for the second phase, you keep those 6 dice, and you've got a chance to add more to them. Right. So if you really want to win, you can go again. What traits will I give you? So I think I'm going to give Obi-Wan something like blindsided. So when he came out here, he didn't know what was going on in the sector. Mace Windu has didn't confide in him. And
out of the loop.
Out of the loop. Yeah, maybe out of the loop is better than blindsided. What kind of trait should Anakin get? Something like angry is too simple.
Jealous.
Yeah, jealous. I mean, jealous of Obi-Wan or
resentful, or
resentful. Resentful is good.
Resentful.
Yes, resentful.
Yeah.
Resentful.
So just fill those in next to one of the empty spaces in the trait section. So, so if you want to, you get a second chance. You can earn more dice through narration involving character elements, but I get to make suggestions for what occurs. If you accept the suggestion, you get to roll 4 additional dice, and I will give you a complicating trait. If you reject the suggestion, you can still gain extra dice, but you have to create a complication for yourselves. You call upon one of your own conflicts, or a trait that would cause you problems, and you would roll 3 dice. So really, it's like what if you accept my complication, you get more dice, and if you don't. But then again, maybe you're looking at so I've rolled 3 6s, you rolled none. So do you think you can possibly win if you roll 3 or 4? It seems. So maybe you cut your losses and say, we're not going to try. We're going to give up. I don't know. That's completely.
I see. Because it's in addition to the pool we already roles we already have there, exactly. Right?
But we still have to beat your 3 6s, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Unlikely.
Seems really unlikely. Yeah.
Seems pretty unlikely. Yeah.
If we had been close, and if we had 2 or something, that would be
yeah.
So maybe we just take the loss and go forward with the role play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess you you get no points. I narrate the outcome of the situation, and I've added traits already. So you haven't gone for the second round, so you don't get a second lot of traits. I don't heap on the pain.
The pain. But traits are useful, right?
The traits, you like those. That's new ammunition, and this is like what's good about it. Okay, so so let me know. I don't want to like step too far ahead. I think the droid attack takes down the communication array, and you lose contact with Mace Windu, and maybe you do what you're going to do anyway, right? You Obi-Wan supports Anakin. Anakin's in command, and you fight this kind of bloody battle to drive back the droid forces. But like everyone knows that Anakin was still in charge, and that's what word gets back to the Jedi Council.
I'm in trouble.
Does that seem okay?
We're both in trouble though.
I think what we see is like Anakin. How did you describe it, Sabine? Anakin's first response to what Mace Windu said.
Yeah, that was basically like, okay, if Obi-Wan wants to mop up what I've left, I can go somewhere else and do something useful. That was basically the first response, like, okay, you don't take this away from me because I've made a mess of it, because I don't believe that I would accept that.
And Obi-Wan steps forward and says to Mace Windu, while we still have communications before it all goes haywire, is it Master Windu? Is that what I would say? Master Windu, I had come here on an intuition that something is afoot here that requires Anakin's special skills. From this place here, I would suggest that Anakin remain in control. And then before anything can be resolved, that's when the strike happens. And
we don't even know how much of what you said got back to Mace
Windu, right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you didn't say, I'm going through a tunnel,
You're breaking up.
I mean, he looked kind of frozen, but you never know with Mace Windu. He just might have been very still.
Very impassive, yeah. Okay.
Well, we were in the midst of that negotiation, and it is not concluded. You remain in charge, Anakin.
Let's go pop some droids.
So there's lots of pew pew and etc.
Lots of pew pew.
And lots of
And how do we see the two of them working together? Anakin is feeling resentful. Are they more independent, or are they really functioning as a unit?
Depends on whether Anakin Obi-Wan follows Anakin, as Anakin charges forward even more recklessly than he usually would. So come on, old man, keep up.
And Obi-Wan is trying to deal with the threats on the flanks that Anakin ignores as he charges forward. So he's trying to give him cover, and he's got a worried look on his face. Now you can do it to us, Donna.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think you win the battle, but yeah, it's what's Banta Dudu is on your way.
Banta Dudu is coming. I did read that first cuss. I haven't read all the other cusses.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's like, I don't want to. Maybe what it's not a court martial, but maybe the discussion with the Jedi Council is another scene, right?
Right. Okay.
So I think so we move on to next turn, Suitor 2. So I imagine maybe for that frank discussion with Mace Windu, Anakin is back on a main world, and Padme is there discussing the war with Master Windu as well. So we maybe bump into each other in a corridor in between meetings, right?
Cool. Yes. The Jedi Temple and the Senate thingy are pretty close.
Yeah.
So.
So I think it's maybe Padme wants a little bit of advice from Anakin on like how to deal with Mace Windu, because he's so prickly and seems to think that he is in charge, right?
He kind of is in charge. Anakin doesn't seem very convinced of that, but technically, he's the head of the Jedi Council, and he kind of is in charge.
Sure, Anakin, but really, this war is getting out of hand, and I'm afraid where it's going to lead the Jedi Council to have the kind of power that they've spent centuries avoiding.
Well, I don't have any influence over Mace Windu, I'm afraid. He would not listen to me if he was being trampled by a bantha. I offered him a bantha whistle, so.
But, if he's not receptive to you, maybe he'll be receptive to me if I make the same points.
Well, you can try. Yeah, you can try.
I would love to try with your help.
Anything I can do?
So would it make sense for me then to be Mace Windu at some point, or I have to be oppositional? Is that correct?
You're the opposition in this scene, so you could be Mace Windu, or you could be some other hurdle that we have to get through.
A hurdle.
I mean, Mace Windu could be a pretty big hurdle.
Yeah, I'll be Mace Windu. Yeah, so maybe that makes sense. The audience with Mace Windu, and the two of you show up rather than I was just expecting Anakin.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that gives you. So is the obstacle just Mace Windu, or is it like he's in a mood, or there's something else going on that means he's not
Yeah, he's
receptive?
infuriated at the insubordination, I think, of Anakin, and
But anger leads to fear. Just saying. So he probably wouldn't express that openly, but he might just be
stern. He's very stern.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not angry, he's disappointed.
Oh,
That's right. Even worse.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Padme's pitch is, we need to get a little bit more innovative in our response. The Central Command is obviously not working with the Republic's strengths and scale in this campaign. We need to be a little bit more flexible.
Do you want to role play that, or should we roll?
I mean, sorry, this is like what she's saying to Obi-Wan. This is what she's saying to Obi-Wan, right?
Oh, what you're saying?
To Mace.
To Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I would throw in with Padme, and yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty charismatic person, so I will argue that we are not winning as much as we should, and that might actually be because our strategies are, well, they have come from the Jedi Knights from 1,000 years ago, and that was maybe another time, and maybe this time requires a newer thinking.
Or the problem might be that some knights don't know how to obey chain of command, and that we must be more careful than ever to maintain order and regimen in our approach to these to the droids. This may not be the time for new and untried methods.
This is exactly the time for new and untried methods. Because the old ones don't work.
I mean, in a terrible act of foreshadowing, Padme will say something like, "I don't think the Jedi are responding as well to your iron fist of control. The tighter you grip, the more will slip through your fingers."
I love that.
So yes.
Always
Sorry. So mechanical wise, right? I'm using thoughtful for my kind of suggestion on the kind of military strategy. What we say, like dissipated command structure or whatever.
I was trying for charismatic, but I think I come across as resentful.
Okay. Well, you can take either of those.
I will take resentful because that's where this was going, especially with the way Mace was arguing this.
Yeah. And for our third response, I don't know that quoting Darth Vader. Maybe this is where this is maybe where Leia gets the line, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that our third response? Do you think, or?
Yeah, okay. I think the way we were playing that off is kind of a really strong response. I like that.
So I will grab 6 dice, I think.
Yeah.
For that.
And I'll say if you could just roll as badly for this one as for the last one would be very much
Yeah,
appreciated.
So Jose, you have 5 dice,
I see them. Okay.
and I mean, if you roll, if you roll that again, there'll be no complaints.
Did you roll, or are you ready for me to roll?
I'm gonna roll.
Okay. Oh, well, you got 2 6s.
2
Wow.
6s.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
you got it.
well, mhm.
It's just number of 6s, right?
So it's number 6s. If neither of us had rolled 6s, it would be the
5s.
next highest number that either of us had rolled, and the most. So if we got into 2s, you definitely would have won.
Got it. Clearly, I'm not the one to be rolling here.
Yeah.
Today. Dice roller don't like me today.
Okay. So do we want to? I guess, do you want to quickly tell us how Mace Windu bows to our superior strategy, and then we'll do the. Or do we? It doesn't say. I mean, I guess we kind of narrate, right? Because
we
we
won.
won. Yeah.
You won, yeah.
So let me tell you what we do. In terms of mechanics, we each, the active suitor and beloved gain a new trait chosen by their own players. The active suitor and beloved each earn 1 point towards their goal. And here it is. The active suitor and beloved both narrate the outcome of the situation together. Yay.
Happiness.
So we check a box to get a point. And then we give ourselves some new traits.
And I get points as well, right?
Yeah, you check a point.
Nice. Cool.
And the counter should tick up. Yeah. Do I go for something obvious like strategist?
You could go for that. I would maybe go for iconoclast.
Okay.
Does that make sense? That means what I think it means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Resentful and iconoclastic. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing bad is going to come out of this, right?
No, I will reform the Jedi Order and lead it to more greatness than it has ever known before.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
So I think, Master Windu kind of seeing that this has gotten political, maybe, beats a retreat, or at least stays on the horse or holds onto the tiger's tail so he can keep some kind of control over it. He'll put something together that'll keep him kind of in control and knowing exactly how independent his Jedi are suddenly going to end up being. And Padme treats that like a complete victory, the halls of power, politics, all that nonsense.
I mean, Anakin treats it as a win too. He stood up to Windu, and Windu kind of caved. I mean, he was like, "Yes, well, maybe you have a point, blah, but we will review this and think."
We'll speak more of this later.
Yes, I will talk to Master Yoda about this.
That's a good fallback position, right? You're right. You are.
Right, you are.
Think we must.
Okay. So we now go on to our first beloved turn. In this scene, the beloved is the opponent and creates hurdles for both suitors at once.
Nice.
And we have a chance to gain multiple points towards our goal in this challenge.
Okay.
We create separate dice pools that we will roll against the beloved players and each other. And we create dice pools via narration. Okay. So to begin the turn, the beloved player creates a hurdle, a challenging situation facing both suitors. Before doing so, the beloved player sets the level for the hurdle. This determines the degree of reward and the risk is at stake. Winning a higher level goal earns more points, but brings more danger. So a level 1 challenge is just a straightforward challenge with 1 point on the line. Level 2 is the suitors face danger and harm and all seek a reward of 2 points. And at level 3, the suitors and the beloved face danger, but the reward is 3 points.
Ooh, nice.
And the dice pool that the beloved rolls in opposition goes up from 5 for level 1, 7 for level 2, 9 for level 3. Yikes.
Yikes.
But the rules for how we generate dice pools are different here as well. So
I have a challenge for both of you, I think. And I think this is the Senate chambers where Padme is scheduled to say a thing or two. It's maybe not the Senate hall itself with these little pods that fly around, but some chamber where people are mulling about and discussing, and Obi-Wan is there to, I don't know, maybe stand guard over these people, or because he has something he wants to say to somebody. And that's, of course, when the power is cut and the Senate is taken hostage by pirates, of all things. If you think this is unrealistic, this is the plot of an actual Clone Wars episode. So, and they disarm you, and their leader is a charismatic guy named Hondo. He's kind of a bit scruffy, but also like charismatic. He's like, okay, I've got you now, and what I want from you is I want you to give me a starship, a really big one, the Rubicon. Yeah, what's the Rubicon? That's what he wants. He's seen it in action and he likes it. So it's got to be his, but he can't access it without the codes. So one of you has the codes and he doesn't know who, and he's threatening a lot of people right now, but you're both there. He doesn't know that it's Obi-Wan. So.
Okay. So is this like a level 2 hurdle?
Yeah,
like
that's a level 2
being
hurdle.
Threatened? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, not cool.
Not good.
No, that's a very cool pirate.
Yeah. So there's a big list of options that we have. If you look at the rules tab, bottom right of that sheet, you can see our responses. So you get 2 dice for involving a new trait of your own character or the beloved. 3 traits for your own trait plus a new complicating trait. Or to create a complication for the other suitor that the beloved player approves of, or flirt with the beloved, or there's a lot of options here.
I mean, where are you reading exactly? I'm looking at that tab. So is it under playing the game?
Yeah. So in the right-hand column in playing the game, you can see like halfway down, there's suitor player responses, and we make 3 each, and we build our dice pool from this.
Okay.
So a suggestion from the other suitor to add a trait is possible, right? A new complicating trait. Complicating traits are catnip in this game, I think. So I will start off maybe a little bit easy. I will start with I'll involve a trait and add a new complicating trait to my character sheet. So I'll go with Great Leader, and I will add Recognizable, so they know who I am.
Yeah. Yep. Now they do.
Okay, so that is 3 dice. Now they do, yeah, exactly.
Now it's okay. So the opposition is 7 dice, and each of those things that you just mentioned is 3 dice or 2 dice.
So it depends. So I've picked the second option from that list, which is like conflict, which is a new trait. So my own trait, and then added a new complicating trait. The other option in complication would be like create a complication for the other suitor. You know,
Is that opposition for other student? Okay.
yeah. Or flirt with the beloved. You know.
Or flirt with the beloved.
If only he was here.
Situation. Yeah. Hard to do it unless I do it across the
Across
force.
the stars,
yeah. And I'm seeing number 4 and number 5 here. Suggestion for other.
Yeah. So you get 4 dice if you take the suggestion from the other. SB is suitor player.
Oh, suitor player. Okay.
Yeah. Or if you involve your own character. So we're not playing with conflicts in this game. It's like a 2-player or an optional rule. So 4 dice for a suggestion from the other suitor player, like something that goes wrong or a complicating trait they gain. So like you can take a suggestion from me and get 4 dice from it if you want.
Okay.
So force me to do the work for you to end up with more dice, right?
End up with more dice, yes. All right. I don't need to understand all the mechanics, I guess. I should choose one of my own traits, then that's the first thing I should do?
You can do them in any order. So like if you want to, like I can create one for you that might cause some trouble for you, right? But yeah, I think you have to ask first, right? And then you can reject it if you don't like it and pick a different option, right? It doesn't count as your turn to ask and then reject.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm completely lost. Sorry. I don't know what to do.
So the simplest thing to do is to get 2 dice for just using one of your own traits.
Okay, I'll just use one of my traits, and this is how I'm responding to this situation.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Using one of my traits. Okay. I think I'll try using Lone Wolf, and I think what I want to do is I don't think he knows who I am. And so I think I'm going to try to kind of fade back into the crowd and find a way to call for reinforcements.
You know, maybe Anakin will arrive in the scene.
Maybe Anakin will.
I mean, sounds like he could use some help, right?
Yeah. So let Padme take the lead in kind of negotiations while I attempt to sabotage or undo what they've done. Maybe they've locked the doors into the chambers, and so there's a way that I'm going to try to open them and call for help at the same time.
Okay. So I'm giving you 2 dice. You can make that a 3rd die if you want to create a new complicating trait for yourself.
A new complicating trait for myself.
Yeah. So like when I did this, I used Great Leader, but then I like created a new trait, recognizable, to create trouble for myself.
And so I would have to create a trait that was troublesome.
Yeah, it says complicating, so something that may not be always great. Yeah.
Easily overlooked. How's that? That can be complicated. Sometimes you want to be overlooked. Sometimes you don't want to be overlooked.
Yeah.
And do I mark that? Or just create it?
No, you just created it, I think.
Okay. And that's 2 more?
So that's 3 total.
So you have 6 now.
I have 6?
No, so we are building our dice pools separately.
Oh,
so,
right. Each of you has 3 then.
Yeah.
So we each have 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And the opposition is rolled by the purple, right?
Yeah.
At 7. Okay.
7. Yeah. Okay, I will. I think I'll create a complication for the other suitor. With the beloved player's approval.
Okay. Do I get to do anything as the opposition in that scene?
So you've set the hurdle, and now we're kind of we're responding, and then when we dice roll, the fallout will occur.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, let me. Is that? So technically, right after every response, the beloved player has the opportunity to further develop this hurdle. So like fictionally move things on as we kind of build our response pools. It's not a new hurdle. It's just we are seeing things develop. So you can always jump in with some narration there. Okay, I am gonna. I'm going to use strategist. I think I know maybe where the Venator is right now, just due to my involvement in those meetings. And so I know like how long it could take to be here. Maybe this pirate doesn't quite know how close the Rubicon is.
Okay. Yep, the pirate doesn't know that the Rubicon is close enough. Maybe Anakin's on the Rubicon, so maybe he doesn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, is this something that I accept or don't accept, or
no? That is
a suggestion, or
that's just a trait that I'm activating for myself.
That you're activating.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could also activate, if I understand this correctly, you could also activate another trait, I think.
Yep.
Obi-Wan, and then get more dice from that, I think.
Would out of the loop work? Well, I was thinking like the fact that no one knows he's here might be related to being out of the loop somehow. Maybe he wasn't meant to be here, and he just wandered in, and he didn't know that it was going to be an important meeting, or that well, he obviously didn't know there was going to be a pirate attack. And that somehow, especially after the events on that planet, Mace Windu and the other Jedi Masters have not been keeping him apprised of all these developments, and so he couldn't have predicted that this was going to happen.
Well, it also could be that he's out of the loop as to the location of the Rubicon itself.
Oh yeah,
that it is pretty.
They don't know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Padme does, but I don't.
Yeah, you're out of the loop. That's not.
I'm out of the loop. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's simple.
Yeah. And I am going to try for that complication for Obi-Wan. I think because I mean, maybe it's strange, but or maybe it's we see early on, Obi-Wan's hand goes to where his lightsaber should be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not on his belt
Ooh.
because he left it because he wasn't expecting, like he was going to the cafeteria or something,
I was going to the cafeteria.
when the pirates attacked.
He was running around the Senate halls, and you're traditionally not allowed to take your weapons in there. Usually, Jedi insist on the on being the exception, but maybe Obi-Wan was like, "No, I'm gonna be polite."
Yeah. So disarmed, I guess, is the complication.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the out of the loop, do I take more dice?
Yeah. So you should now have 5 dice for activating out of the loop. Okay.
And then you just gave me a complication. That was a die as well. Okay.
That was dice for me.
Oh, that was dice for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
so if I give you a complication, I get more dice.
Yeah. So you write in disarmed because it's a complicating trait, and then you can use it, in the future, or you can, fictionally it may be kind of decay, right? Or you can replace it with something else, right? Where you're not permanently disarmed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can shoot right back at me to.
I think. And do I could just give you a trait, right?
Yeah. Sorry, like a complicating trait.
A complicated trait.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that some of the senators are panicking, and Padma has to keep them in line somehow, or else they are going to panic to the point of causing the pirates to start,
Okay.
shooting them.
Is this like Mother Goose or something like that?
Mother Goose. Shepherd, yeah. Mother Goose Shepherd. Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
The adult in the room.
Yeah.
The adult. Adulting.
Okay, and that gets you 3 dice as well. So
3 dice more. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we should each be on 8, and Sabine, you are on 7. So we all roll them all, and the same rule applies in terms of who wins.
Okay.
It's
only one winner among the 3
only
of us?
one winner. Whoever wins gains the 2 points and adds traits to all of the characters.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right. I see. This is an adversarial game.
It is.
The 2 Suitors might like each other, but they like the Beloved more, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess so. All right.
So wait until you.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Not bad. Donna, is that your roll?
Yeah, that is my roll.
Okay. I think you will win this, but let me roll here. Yeah.
Okay.
I think 4 should be high, should be considered higher.
Oh, it was very close though. I was only 1 point
You got
away.
2 6s, yeah, and 3 5s, yeah. So it's a pretty good roll.
It was a pretty good roll.
Okay, so I get 2 points, and everyone gets the traits that I give them.
Yes.
So I think with that setup, I think Anakin is kind of coming in. He was on the dark side of the moon all along, and comes in. So let's give him the trait Savior. And let's give Obi-Wan the trait. I mean, he's already out of the loop, so
yeah, that I'm in.
Jedi in distress. Yeah, I'm going for some kind of like Obi-Wan isn't all that. He's a bit,
Mhm.
last season. Uh, if Anakin had been there, none of this would have happened. So I don't know, Jose. Do you have any thoughts? What might match that?
You mean like obsolete or or
Um,
uh,
along those lines, I guess obsolete is probably
Un
harsher than I was going
that's
for.
harsh.
unprepared, maybe?
Uh, yeah, unprepared or
um,
how about like yesterday's Jedi or something
or
like
outshone.
Mm.
Yeah, either of those.
that. Yeah, let's go with yesterday's Jedi.
Okay, I can put it in.
And what to give myself? Don't know. Anyone have any suggestions?
I mean, you were the one handling everything, responsible.
Yeah,
Soothing, maybe, when you talk the pirates down.
yeah, maybe negotiator.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. Okay, so yeah, I think in terms of like the narration, right? Padme talks them off the ledge, and Obi-Wan is kind of just sitting with the rest of the hostages, trying to remember how he can get to the
No,
where they keep the light.
Obi-Wan was calling for help. That was in the description.
Yeah.
So I think he called Anakin down. So
yeah. Sorry, like basically trying to get to where he can call Anakin down, and then Anakin comes in to save the day. I think is where we are.
Because Obi-Wan forgot his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Why not let him
I left it at the cafeteria.
Someone was using it to toast some bagels.
Your Padawan was taking it to a training class, and now it's massacre. No, sorry.
Okay. So let's take a break in between acts. Do we want 10 minutes or 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
5 is good since we're
5
on
is
a
good.
time
Yeah.
crunch.
Okay. Let's come back at 25 past.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're back.
So then we come back straight around, and then I frame a scene with the beloved.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back to your turn, your suitor turn.
I think I'm seeing a scene. Maybe it's on the ship, on the Rubicon, and Obi-Wan is overseeing Ahsoka. She's doing some training in whatever their version of a danger room is, and he's like on a mezzanine above, watching her, and I think Anakin comes. This is after all the stuff with the pirate stuff has been resolved, and Obi-Wan is looking kind of pensive and a little unsure of himself after what went down, and I assume Anakin can actually feel that.
Yeah, playing the vulnerable card. That's a good call. That's a good call. I think that's the way you get Anakin to be supportive, actually.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to be loved and respected, but you also, I mean, you're his master, so he'll come by your side. And what do I have here?
maybe Obi-Wan says, she's progressing well. I hope I can guide her to. And he turns and looks at you, Anakin, and says, to the greatness that you are stepping into, Anakin, already.
I owe you a lot, Master Obi-Wan. I would not be here without your guidance and without your advocacy, I guess is the word. I think she'll do fine. Look what she's doing to that training droid.
Yes, well, I can't. The training droids she's put in the ground are more than I can count. I need to find her some new challenges that are suitable to her interests. She
Maybe.
bores easily.
I think you can deal with that. I know you can deal with that. You might take her to a battlefield, actually. She seems to be ready.
I have an idea for a complication.
Yay.
Complication. Enter.
Maybe one of these droids has got some strange malfunction, or maybe some Sith programming.
Or he was hacked by a separatist.
Yeah.
And he multiplies.
I mean, okay. I was just gonna go for straight up murdering Ahsoka, but maybe like the robot, the droid rather, disassembles into like tiny spider bots and moves through the ship to destroy the whole ship.
Yes, love it.
That's an escalation.
There's an escalation, yes.
Yep.
So 5 dice to save the Rubicon.
So we do mechanics now?
Yeah, so you are responding to the hurdle, which is obviously not going to kill anyone, right? Or no one named, right? Or at least none of our main characters. And you respond to the challenge with your traits. So again, a first use of your own trait is worth 2 dice. A second use is worth 1. And making a suggestion that the other player really likes and uses is worth 2. So you get 3 responses. So I think anyone can start.
So just to be clear, so they're not attacking Ahsoka now. They're infiltrating the ship.
Yeah, I think that's.
Is that what you decided?
Or
they could be doing both.
I mean, it's maybe it's both. I mean, you can respond to either. I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they are attacking Ahsoka, I imagine I'm seeing like her take one down with her lightsaber, and then it explodes, and then all the little tiny bots start swarming in every direction, including her direction.
Yeah, and she's a slightly worried master.
Master. Yeah, and I think the first thing that Obi-Wan will be doing is jumping off the mezzanine because he loves Ahsoka. I know he's not supposed to have attachments, but he does. So a heartfelt would be one thing that I would be using for that. And what the hell? I'll use. Well, no, I'm sure I would have my my lightsaber with me. I don't think I can use.
Yeah, so you're just going to activate one right now.
Or just one at a time. Okay.
Yeah, and then pass to Sabine for Anakin's response, and then either one of you can go last.
Okay.
Yeah. I think what Anakin does here, yeah, I don't think he can go totally strategic on this. He's not that kind of guy. But he is a savior, right? Oh, wow, yeah, he is. So he will draw his lightsaber and start swinging and pushing these tiny spider droids around and into the wall where they shatter. And basically, to do the savior thingy, pushes maybe one away from Ahsoka so that Obi-Wan has the opportunity to cut the others down, and then he will take care of those who run around because the ones down with Ahsoka, I think he thinks Obi-Wan can handle that.
Awesome. And a third response from either of you. It can be a trait, or it can be like just a purely fictional suggestion that you both like.
And that's a complicating thing, or is that just a thing?
No, just off the top of your heads,
Okay.
not a trait or complication.
But
Something cool, right?
Something cool. Oh yeah, something cool.
So you make a suggestion for the other player. I think technically, yeah.
But that's Jose to me.
No, from either of you to the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Can we both do it, or just one of us? Yeah.
Just what you get.
First come, first serve?
You can both do it, but you only get to use one.
Oh, okay.
You only get
because
three
we only have
responses.
one pool. We're sharing a pool this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're sharing a pool now.
So
Okay.
you're gonna roll.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That should work out great.
I
Yeah,
can't roll
well,
more sixes.
I like the Rubicon, but
And do I use a trait for this, or do I just
No.
No, it
it's
can be anything.
purely fictional.
Purely fictional? Okay, then let's see. What would be fun? I think we see Obi-Wan kind of. Oh no, this is a suggestion for the Beloved, right?
Yeah.
General thing, I think.
Oh, general thing. Oh, okay, because I was thinking the moment we protect Ahsoka, we realize that she isn't actually the main target, and that the ship is actually the main target. And Obi-Wan, go ahead.
And then we have to race to the main reactor, I think it's called.
To the main reactor, yeah.
to stop these little spider droids from going there and exploding, because they do that a lot.
They do, exploding droids, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and I imagine we're not taking the normal corridors. We are, or maybe we are. Or don't they have like? Oh, there were the tubes that they slipped down to get into the garbage, right? In one of the movies.
Yeah, or we could just jump down and shoot or something.
Shoot, yeah.
Yeah, because Jedi are great at jumping.
Down a chute into a central core, whereas I imagine a big open space with some kind of spinning orb in the center that we fall down into, and all the time, swatting little spiders as we're going down. So something dramatic like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. So grab another 2 dice, and then we'll roll off. You have 6, I've got 5. One 6 this time.
It's 5, right? That I do?
6. You're rolling 6.
Oh, we're rolling 6. Okay. I have to do that. Okay.
You have 7 down there now.
Oh,
but you only rolled 6, so you got 1 6 as well, but you got 3 5s and I got 2 5s, so you win.
4 5s. Yeah, 4 5s. Okay, great. Yeah. I finally won something.
There you go.
Yay, well done.
Do I get a point?
You get it.
Yeah,
you get a point.
Oh my god, I got a point. Yay.
So let me just check, because this has happened before. So if the active suitor and beloved win, you both gain a new trait chosen by your own players. You both earn 1 point toward their goal, and you both narrate the outcome of the situation together.
So we have to add a new trait to ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have to add a new trait, right?
You add a trait for yourself, and Sabine does likewise
Oh,
for
okay.
Anakin. Yeah.
I'll put protector.
Nice.
Finally, a good trait.
Yeah.
Finally, a good one.
I think I will put in soft-hearted a little, because when Obi-Wan was vulnerable, Anakin was like, "Oh my God, I need to help this guy." So he's kind of a little soft-hearted. Yeah, he's a big old. He's just an old softie. Well, or maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And we stuck to 10 minutes. I think.
Ish.
Ish. Yeah. Ish. Okay.
Ish.
Okay. So, my turn as Suitor. Do we think maybe, so you both like completely saved Ahsoka? She's not in any she's not going to be in hospital or anything like that, but maybe the Rubicon is in whatever you call a dry dock in space, getting repaired. And I think there's like an inspection party, and given that she is now part of the strategic command group.
Oh,
is that a thing? It is now. Padme is like part of the inspection, like when it's maybe getting relaunched. So I think, maybe she's getting a little bit worried about the war and how dangerous it is, and how Anakin came so close to being killed on the Rubicon in this attack.
He just lost a hand.
I'm mother goosing this, right? So this is maybe like not part of the official agenda. This is just Padme being very worried about Anakin.
Yeah, and I think, Jose, you get to create the obstacle thingy, because Anakin was a little hurt or something. Probably didn't lose a hand, but so we're in the whatever it's called, where sick people are.
Infirmary,
Bay, maybe?
Infirmary, right?
Yeah, infirmary.
Yeah, so maybe we're like there. And Anakin's like kind of, it's nothing. It's just a scratch. Come on, just a flesh wound. It's not even bleeding anymore.
And what's the complication then? We've had dramatic exploding droids. What would be a more kind of relational complication? I think the complication, let's see. I think the complication is that Padme, you have from the Jedi Council.
Sorry, Jose, can you repeat that? You broke
Sure.
up for me. Just when you said you have, and then you just froze.
Selective hearing.
Yeah.
Padme, you have to deliver a message from the Jedi Council that Anakin does not want to hear. And I could make one up. It might be the result of the earlier conversations. Maybe that maybe Padme had to make some concession to the council in terms of Anakin's leadership in order to get them to go along with her plan for the new strategy.
Ouch.
How's that for a complication?
That's a good complication. So, oh yeah, I've got a good idea. Okay.
I have a good idea.
I got a good idea. So yeah, so I'm like fussing over you and this wound that is, to my mind, much worse than you say it is. Um, and I take out one of those, I don't know, like a brooch, but it's like a hollow message or whatever it is, with the fateful message from the Jedi Council. Um, I know. Wait a minute. Does Padme call Anakin Annie? When
Sure. I mean,
in moments like this, when he knows it's really serious.
I mean, it's kind of your decision, but
Yeah.
I would be fine with that.
Okay. Annie, the Jedi Council has decided to redeploy you.
Again.
They're going to send you to to train the younglings in the temple.
String of expletives. Okay, how do I get out of this? But let's decide what the good outcome here is before we go on, right?
Yeah.
Is the good outcome that you convinced Anakin to do this for the council? Or is the good outcome that Anakin convinces you that, yeah, you should kind of negotiate with Yoda and whoever thought that was a good idea?
Yeah. I mean,
on his behalf.
Is the good outcome is that Anakin is happy with whatever happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, depending, so maybe because based on Jose's framing of the complication, like Padme has already negotiated this with the Jedi Council, right?
Yeah.
Which I will, maybe that gets out if I roll terribly, right?
Oh, I love that.
So I think I'm gonna activate Negotiator, and I think I will tell Anakin that hey, I fought with them about this, and they were gonna send you to someplace I've never even heard of, but they seem. I think Master Windu is holding a grudge.
Yeah. I think Anakin is not. I think Anakin is getting pensive about the whole thing because that is his future. Does he even want to stay in an order that treats him like this?
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a good way for us to progress with Anakin thinking about his future in the order here. He's being pensive.
Yeah.
I think that's where you want him to go anyway.
Yeah, probably. Or is this iconoclastic? I don't know.
No, I think it's not. I think he's really thinking about just saying, okay, this is I need to be in the order or not. I need to make a decision here. And that's not iconoclastic. And iconoclastic would be if he wants to change the order. Pensive is if he thinks about leaving the order altogether.
So, so I have an idea, and maybe this is passionate, and maybe it is that iconoclastic trait for Anakin. But Padme says, "But think of the power you can wield with the younglings. Think of how you can make them into a better vision of what we think the Jedi Order could be."
Yeah, I mean, and I like the argument that Padme makes. I think Anakin would not be swayed by that. He's not really a politician. But yeah, maybe. Let's see how the roll goes, okay?
Yeah,
I like the suggestion.
Okay, so I think we're at 6 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
you
Jose,
roll.
you roll the opposition,
You're
right?
rolling
With 5
5,
dice.
Jose. So let's see. Does this go? 1 5. Oh, you got 3 4s? You're muted, Jose.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I said,
Wow.
finally, your time has come. I haven't rolled a single 6.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Okay, so that's one. Oh, I mean, one bare success, right?
Mhm.
So we gain a new trait created by ourselves. We
Mhm.
gain a point towards our goal, and we narrate the outcome of the situation together.
Okay. So what is the outcome of the situation? That I accept, or that I say, yeah, I need to talk to the council about my future in the order?
I think I'd leave that up to you.
Okay.
Like it's the direction you're taking, right? But
Yeah.
getting like maybe it's getting the Jedi Council to respect you.
You're frozen.
If you, oh, am I frozen? Still frozen?
No, just briefly.
Okay. I was just saying, like, maybe this is a question of like achieving your dream by getting the Jedi Council to respect you. I don't know. I'll leave that
Yeah.
up to you.
Yeah. I think Anakin is letting Padme talking into this.
Okay.
At least for now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give myself the trait Inner Circle.
Ooh,
if I'm
nice.
negotiating with the Jedi Council like this.
I give myself the trait unsure.
Okay.
Or undecided, because I don't know where I'm going here. I'm just
on the fence.
Yeah, on the fence, undecided, somewhere between a rock and a hard place. Or a rock and a soft place. But I don't want to be in a soft place. Couch in a soft place. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
We've got 9 minutes.
We have 9 minutes. So let's maybe. You ready for another beloved turn?
Yep. Yeah, and I think this is where we have all the characters together, or that would be the final role, right? No, yeah. We have the scene in the council where Anakin where they are telling Anakin, yeah, you don't want you in the field, and he's like trying to argue that this is where he belongs. He's strong in the Force. He's a great pilot. Why wouldn't they use the resource and send him to train children? He doesn't even know how to talk to children and stuff like that. So he is he's preparing his argument, I think, and the two of you are there, and you can see that this is not going to go well for him, because he's arguing from the heart. The Jedi Council won't accept arguments that come from the heart, because that is emotion, and emotion is bad for you, and passion is even worse for you. So fear leads to anger and stuff like that. And you both know it. You both know that Jedi Council is never going to accept his proposition that he might split the time and giving some lessons to the kids and then go out in the field again. That's a suggestion. You both know that this is going to go terribly.
So do you think this is just a challenge for us, or are we? It doesn't sound like we're being threatened.
No, it doesn't.
At all,
right?
But a low challenge, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't make up a very dangerous and dramatic one. You're not a Mustafar. Nobody is swimming in the lava.
Okay.
This is just politics.
Yeah. So I guess we go as before. We can create responses from this big menu of options. I am going to just pick Inner Circle really straightforward. I am used to talking to the council, and I know what their responses are likely to be.
Mhm.
So just kind of talking Anakin down off his ledge in terms of this emotive response, and you know, you put it in terms that they would put back to you. That's the kind of very, very basic advice.
So I would choose a trait of my own to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think what I want to use yesterday's Jedi. And I imagine that there's some old school tradition about a master and his Padawan or his ex-Padawan, or that relationship, or no, some rule about newly made knights that they have to go through battle testing before they can return to teach the young, something like that, some obscure rule that hasn't been used in centuries,
Yeah.
and that
Nice.
Obi-Wan knows about.
I like that.
Okay. I'm going to take the option because no one else has yet. Flirt with the beloved.
Oh,
As I'm giving advice and I'm hearing this like dusty old scroll stuff from Obi-Wan, like put a hand on Anakin's forearm or elbow or something, and just kind of whisper the advice, like be really quiet and lean into how I think Anakin likes the advice to be given. Doesn't like orders.
Yeah.
Needs a kind of a quiet approach.
Yeah, like that.
So 3 dice for that.
And I think maybe I will follow suit, since this is the last scene. And we've got Padme on one side of Anakin and Obi-Wan on the other. And as Obi-Wan finishes his speech, and the Jedi Masters are talking amongst themselves, he just looks sideline to Anakin and whispers in his mind.
Oh, nice.
You see, sometimes traditions can work in our favor.
I like that. I like that.
And
is that like subversive? Subversive Obi-Wan?
Yeah, subversive.
Yeah. I like a subversive Obi-Wan. It's great. That's a great trait to take from this.
Yeah. That's 3 dice. 3 dice, for that, for sure.
Okay, so we all roll 5 dice, right?
No, so that's only 2 responses each from us. We got a third.
Oh.
So yeah, I am maybe cool-headed but possessive, right? I think maybe there's like a subtext, maybe that you pick up that like Obi-Wan is in Anakin's mind, and I do not like that. But again, cooling Anakin down with that kind of approach, just to breathe and remember that everyone here is on the same side, kind of thing, even if it doesn't seem like it sometimes. And your final response, Jose.
Okay, so I get one more. So I've already flirted. I can present opposition to the other suitor, right?
Yeah. So you can create a complication, like a complicating trait for me.
For you.
Yeah.
But that's not going to do anyone any good, because
no, but it might be fun. It'll give you 3 dice, and it might be fun.
Oh, it'll give me 3 dice. Oh,
yeah.
It'll give you 3 dice, or
no? It'll give you 3 dice for giving me a complicating trait. Yeah.
That seems backwards, right?
No, it seems awesome.
Okay, I get 3 dice, and you get a complicating trait.
Yeah.
Okay. I think your trait would be wait a second. It's inner circle. I think one of the things is that she's had to make a lot of concessions to a number of different parties politically to make this work.
Yeah.
And she's going to be in trouble if it doesn't work out
Okay.
with the Jedi
Like
Council.
compromised.
Compromised, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Like that.
Okay. So that gets you 3 dice. So I think we are.
How much do I have total? Sorry.
7.
7. Okay.
Against the trouble pool or the beloved pool of 5.
And
I've rolled the beloved pool and it's a straight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 is my total.
Okay.
I think maybe you won.
Yeah, you won.
You
have a 6 and a 5. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that is a point in the pool, and I would get to give out traits, but I think we'll skip past that because of our time.
We don't need it, right?
We don't need it.
For the final roll.
So let's skip straight to the end. So we each roll our points pool as D6. And it's the same as before. So we are looking for 6s or highest. So
okay.
What am I on? 5.
That one.
Okay. I'm rolling. Wow, I'm not gonna win this. Neither are you. Yep.
Okay.
Padme wins.
Padme wins.
Yay.
Okay. So a soul winner. The suitor wins. If one suitor's player has the highest die or dice, their character wins. That player narrates how they attain their prize and what lies in store for the winning suitor's relationship with the beloved. The beloved player and the losing suitor player may describe an epilogue about what their character did since they did not attain the goal. Okay. So I guess we keep this very, very short.
We get married.
We cut straight there.
There's a wedding.
But secretly,
obviously, secretly
so
get
we
married.
can keep our positions.
Because you are working in the Jedi temple, and that's right next door to where I work, so it's very handy.
Yeah.
And a quick and sorry. So you knew the beloved does not achieve their dream. I guess he has Padme's love, but not everyone, not the Jedi Council's respect. After all that,
no. Oh, clearly.
Jose, what do you think? A quick epilogue for Obi-Wan.
I think we're back to this scene right here on the Rubicon, and Obi-Wan. This is during the wedding, which he wasn't invited to, but he knew was happening. He's looking pensive and kind of, and he can feel Anakin kind of his mind being farther away from him.
Closing himself off to you.
Closing himself off to me. And Ahsoka is right behind him, looking at him, worried. Yeah.
Nice. And for a final scene with Anakin, we will see him in the Jedi Temple, in his Jedi robes, talking to Sheev Palpatine, and you can't hear what they're saying, but you see Anakin nodding quite earnestly.
He's getting respect now. Yeah. Oh no, we've broken the universe.
Yeah. No, I mean, we set it back on track a little bit.
Set it back on track.
It's kind of like, yeah. I love the game. I love playing with you two. I'm so sorry I messed up the timing. I apologize enough, but I have to go. It was great fun. It was great fun, and I wish I had a time travel device or something.